Saddle up, saddle up. Burning daylight. All right. D-3, second day on my way down to Seligman for Route 66. Forgive me for the birth control glasses, but we need safety glasses when we're driving with no windshield. And my aviators do not play well with a cowboy hat. And we need the cowboy hat because we were in Circleville, Utah, birthplace of Butch Cassidy. So what do you say we go look at some history? Yeah, oh yeah, saddle up. It's amazing how this cowboy hat stays on. You gotta know how to drive with the windshield down. I'm getting good at it. It's absolutely beautiful out here, but it's very cold. It's a good thing I've got the leather jacket on. First stop, as always, is the Veterans Memorial here in Circleville, Utah. It looks like they've done a fine job, and we'll take a closer look. It's beautiful. Look how many names. This is a very rural county, a very small town, and it starts with the Black Hawk Indian Wars. But look at all the names: World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam later, and then the Iraqi conflict. They've done a fine job, and notice it's lit up at night. Visit your small community veterans memorials and honor those who've served. Semper Fi. Good job, Circleville. Now here's a history marker of a different kind. This tells the tragedy of an Indian massacre. It was actually a mix-up and bad communications, but the Ute Indians were not friendly at this time, and it was part of the Black Hawk Wars. And this little town of Circleville was raided. 4 people were killed, and through miscommunication, the settlers here in Circleville rounded up the local Paiute Indians who were not responsible for the attack. And sadly, every one of them was murdered, with one escaping. They were locked up in a log cabin, and one by one, their throats were slit. Here's a memorial to those who died in the sad, tragic history. History you can't change. You can't change, but time. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this house here in a minute, but for now, just take in its beauty. A lot of history with this house. All right. This is my friend Tanya right here, and she's showing me about town. This is a fire station. Was built in 1949. Of course, it's not in use now. Somebody in town has one of the original fire engines. Wouldn't that be neat to see? All right. Well, you wouldn't know it, but the back end of the fire station, built in 1949, also housed what? The jail. A 1-cell jail with a bunk bed and the toilet. And if you were coming to Circleville and acting up, guess what? You just might find yourself in jail. Of course, long after Butch Cassidy was here. All right, I told you I was going to tell you about this house. So Butch Cassidy was born over in Beaver, Utah, a few miles away. He moved over here to Circleville. He was the first child of 13 children in the Cassidy family. And his dad was a builder. His dad built this home. This is where his mom lived, along with 13 kids. And his dad also worked on a farm nearby. And his dad was employed building the first courthouse.
Yep, in Junction.
And so there's an amazing history right here, and it's in relatively great shape. right, check it out. The city of Circleville bought this brand new, the first ambulance in town. Cadillac. Look at this bad boy. I tell you what, it could make a hell of a Ghostbusters mobile. What a classic! Look at these lights. Amazing, amazing. So much to see here. You never know what you're gonna find. Taking them back roads, 2 lanes, tearing it up. All right, all right, all right. I'm here with fellow veteran, Navy, and he served from 1955 to 1959. His name is Clyde. He served on some classics, a Minesweeper, and then the USS Missouri battleship. And of course, we all know that that's where the Japanese surrendered, on the Missouri in Tokyo Harbor. He also served on an LST 529, which is a World War II LST. And I'm just proud to be here to meet him and to take a look around at some of his cool collective things that he's got here, including his 1959 Studebaker, which he bought brand new, which is sitting over the yard. When was the last time you drove it?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably around 77, 75, sometime there.
Around 1975. Well, I'm proud and glad to meet Clyde, and I just want to tell you that he is 92 years young, and I've already told him when I grow up I want to be just like him. Semper Fi, Mac. All right, Tanya dropped me by here to meet Scott Peterson. He's going to tell you a little bit about this log cabin.
Circleville was settled twice. 1864, there was a few people here, not very many. Most of them lived in dugouts. The Black Hawk War came about 1866, and Brigham says if you can't have 150 guys with guns, you got to go to someplace there is. So they abandoned Circleville. This was from the original settlement, the 1866 settlement. My grandfather moved it from someplace here. So it's the only original settlement house. It's in the Utah State Historical. We used it as a granary, and Grandma used to lock up the Indians. Grandma raised 5 Navajos, and
yeah, that's another story.
When they'd get a little crazy, she'd lock them up in there.
Fantastic. Now that truck's been in your family?
Yeah, my grandfather got it brand new. My grandfather was a cheesemaker, and so all during the Depression he got extra gas rations, he got extra tire rations. The Petersons were they were blessed. He'd load up people and take them to Timid. He'd load up people and take them to the grist mill to grind their wheat, and then he'd bring them back.
1935 Chevrolet. Fantastic. Scott Peterson is welcoming me into his home and showed me the wall of honor of his family, going all the way back to World War I and World War II, Korea, and his nephew is a Force Recon Marine who served in Afghanistan. There's a Silver Star and Purple Heart, and his uncle we lost in Korea, and that truck, that 1935 Chevy truck, that was the milk truck, and no one was to drive it until he came back from Korea. Sadly, he did not come back from Korea, and the truck is out there today. Semper Fi, and God bless. we are at Maximilian and Ann Gillies. This is mom and dad to Butch Cassidy. And the entire family is here. All right, and here is one of the brothers of Butch Cassidy, Joseph R. Parker. How many of you knew that he had a veteran in the family? And he was a veteran of World War I in the cavalry. He died in 1962. Think about that. Butch Cassidy's brother was around when I was around, showing my age. So here are the kids, the Parker family, Butch Cassidy's family. These are the brothers and sisters. They're here. And this is the grave of Lula Parker, who was the youngest of Butch Cassidy's family. And she died in 1980, and she died here in Circleville. We're going to visit her house here briefly in a second, and I'll show you a picture of it. Nope, no Dodge Monacos. Anybody knows where there's a Dodge Monaco out there, 74? I'm looking for one. Ever since the movie, The Blues Brothers, can't find them. I'm looking to build my own Bluesmobile. Is Butch Cassidy country. Getting close to the birthplace and the log cabin where Butch Cassidy was born and lived until age 13. Now, how cool is that? Birthplace, childhood home of notorious gunman, outlaw, bank robber, train robber, Butch Cassidy. There's his cabin. That's it. That's the real deal. And it's no wonder that he became a train robber and a bank robber, because the railroad tracks run behind here. And so he grew up near the tracks. And this is really neat that this is in private hands, and yet they've opened it up to the public. I thought you'd enjoy it after driving around Circleville, where his family eventually moved in. And they say that if he was not killed in South America, he visited family in Circleville on occasions. I talked to some locals, and they absolutely believe that he did come back. Pretty awesome stuff. Hope you're enjoying this.